Hello, hello, hello. Hope you all having a good day today. The title of my video, I'm going to be looking at these hot takes from Poohead189z's. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Hey guys, it's your boy Pooh, and today we're doing the hottest Dragon Ball takes this side of Kame House. Now, I won't do all of them on this video because I received about 130 of them, but I will do as many as I have time for. Apologies for the lack of videos the past week. Obviously, I was at KamehaCon, and I've had to do a bunch of stuff since I've gotten back, and I'm still very busy, but I'm going to try to get some videos out. But I also want to say this video will be in good fun. I am not judging you guys as people. However, if you bring in these hot takes, I am judging those based on the text and my own opinions, as the text as in the Dragon Ball text. Just please don't be offended if I think your hot take is shitty or horrible, because really, I mean, they're supposed to be. A hot take is something that should be controversial and that most other people would not agree with. That being said, let's lay a bit of the ground rules. Okay, so first I'm going to rank them with a sort of like a meme structure. I'm taking a page out of Dave's playbook and using various memes. For instance, I might say, oh, that's based or awesome, or I completely agree. But other than that, the best thing you can hear is me going,
and I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Now, the next best thing is this.
Son, you talk a lot of shit.
Yes, I do.
But you down.
Believe it or not, I will draw the person you will marry. One of my clients asked for a refund. She thought the man I sketched looked like her neighbor.
Or I might just go, that's pretty good. Or like, yeah, I guess I do agree. Or that's pretty wild, but I see your point. Also, then in the middle or a mid opinion, we have,
I mean, it's all right, like.
And of course, below that, I don't have a video example for this, but I have to say it's looking bleak. That I have to quote.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Also, I might use these clips sometime in the video when I feel like it. You know, I might mix them up a bit too with like equivalent sayings or clips. But essentially, there's 5 ranks, which goes from perfect, which is the best, to dog shit, which is the worst. And to make up for me potentially being, or at least acting mean to, you know, these comments, I'll add in a small special treat to this video at the very end, so you guys, I think you'll like it quite a bit. And of course, there will be Hot Takes Part 2. But I just want to reiterate one more time, I am not mad at anyone here. I do not think less of anyone for saying whatever you say in these hot takes. But I mean, these are hot takes, and I'm gonna judge them. So now that we have it down, let's jump straight in. Okay, I'm gonna start at the bottom first. So like the first people that put their hot takes in. God, there's so many. All right. Okay, Justin9860 says, Toriyama's biggest mistake in the story being the inability to write around Gohan and not moving his character arc past the out-of-character moment at the end of the Cell Saga. This is what led to Dragon Ball being as stale as it is right now, leading into the overall sentiment among fans that Dragon Ball shouldn't come back if they can't create a new original cast worth caring about. It's all right of a hot take. I mean, I don't know if I'd have to really think about it. I don't know if Gohan and the way he's handled would really be the reason why Dragon Ball is where it is now, but that might have been something that would have showcased that Toriyama was maybe slightly losing his touch at that time. But I'll say that's an all right hot take. I like it's not. I mean, it's
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. Kind of the later half of the series. 'Cause Gohan could be a main character if he was pushed and given more focus. Because the boost after the Cell Saga was like, all right, Goku's dead and Gohan's on Earth. Guess he might be the new defender of Earth. But nope.
it's controversial, I would say, but it's not something I completely disagree with. But nor do I think it's a great point. I don't really know for that one. But that is a hot take, definitely. So thank you for the inclusion. Okay. Monkey5840 says, I have two main ones, meaning hot takes. One, Raditz wasted his own potential considering he was pretty dangerous with just physical attacks. For example, if he and Nappa were at the same power level, I could see Raditz winning 6 or 7 times out of 10. I'm pretty sure that if Raditz had the access to the kind of techniques Goku did, stuff like the Wolfang Fist, I'm sure he'd use them far better than their creators. I could see him using the fact of him being weaker than people like Nappa to creating a technique like the Final Flash to compensate for his weaknesses. And two, Yamcha should have tried combining the Wolfang Fist with other techniques like the Kamehameha, like Goku did with the Kaioken, Wolfang Flash, or something like that. I mean, man, okay, for the first one, for Raditz, it's looking bleak. I mean, maybe it's all right. I mean, I do think that Raditz was fairly skilled for his power level, and I do think he's a very cunning character. So you could be correct about that. But at the same time, like saying that if he had the access to the kind of techniques that Goku did, you could also say that about really any Saiyan. And Raditz also did not create techniques that could compensate for fighting against Nappa or something like that, at least that we saw before he died. Obviously, he was only there for a little bit of time.
Yeah, because Raditz seemed like, I agree with that one. Since given he wasn't there for that long, he didn't have that much screen time to show off any other skills. If he was the same power level as Nappa, then Goku and Piccolo would have lost. Now, for the second opinion, the second hot take, I do agree with that one. Because it would have gave Yamcha more stuff to do. More different skills besides the Wolfang Fist. Like if he did something like what Cooler's Sawyer did in the Cooler movie, where he used his key to make like a keyblade, like Vegito, something like that would have been very useful.
I'm gonna, man, it's either all right or looking bleak for that one. That is certainly a fucking hot take, though. At least with the putting Raditz on a pedestal. Although I will say, I do think that out of the Saiyans, Raditz was probably the most cunning, and I would have loved to have seen him in Vegeta's position on Namek. All right, okay, for two, with the Yamcha should have tried combining Wolfang with other techniques. Actually, you know what, Monkey? Yeah, I'm gonna do that for Raditz. Yeah. I'm gonna see. I kind of see the vision. Definitely talk a lot of shit. For Yamcha though, yeah, that's a pretty good hot take as well. I mean, I agree he should have.
The more you stay home, the less you want to leave. And the more you stay, the heavier everything feels. You think
But at the same time, I also get why he kind of did it. But like, that'd be very hard though, because Kaioken, you know, Wolfang Fist is kind of like a proto Kaioken, but at the same time, it's also like a style. It'd be hard to incorporate other techniques in that, but potentially. All right, so Green Turret 6772. Also, I recognize everyone so far. I recognize you too. Happy recent birthday, by the way. Okay, Goku and Bulma would have been a more compelling romantic relationship than Goku and Chi-Chi. Based. I'm just going to say pretty based. I am a Goku and Bulma shipper. I think Goku and Chi-Chi were good. I'm not going to like try to compare them, but Goku and Bulma, I think, would have been great. As much as I like Bulma and Yamcha, I think Goku and Bulma would also be awesome. 2, Vegeta should have just remained dead after Namek. Ooh, man, spicy. It would have solidified.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I do. Bulma and Goku probably would have been a good one. Given one, she knows Goku the most of anybody since he was a kid. And the second one, let me hear more about that take.
Solidified the message that the old Saiyan culture was inadequate, and only by following the example of a dedicated and kind-hearted being like Goku can the Saiyan race hope to grow stronger to defeat worse evils. Afterwards, the Cell arc could have been more focused on Piccolo and the mirror mission. Both he and Cell had of uniting with parts of themselves to gain more power, to try and replace the vacancy of Vegeta's character. You know, you talk a lot of shit, but you down. I mean, like, I don't dislike Vegeta enough for him to not be there after Namek, but I do think that his death against Frieza was the best death. I think it's way better than his sacrificing death.
Okay, I do agree. Vegeta's sacrifice in Namek was better than the one in the Buu saga, and it would have probably been interesting if he stayed dead in the Namek saga, like after Namek. So that this topic, I agree with this one.
In the Buu saga. And I think that is very thematic. So that is a really good hot take, in my opinion, or a good opinion. It is definitely a hot take. Most people would not agree that Vegeta should remain dead. 3, Vegeta should not have been able to obtain Super Saiyan in the Android saga since he was not even close to being pure of heart, like Goku by the point he developed the form in canon. At the very least, have him finally be able to turn Super Saiyan when Perfect Cell kills Trunks at the Cell games. It mirrors what Goku went through on Namek, with the antagonist somehow surviving a big attack from a character and killing the closest person to the character, unlocking the form in the process. I think, quote, Majin Vegeta would have been more interesting too, with Vegeta trying to bridge the Super Saiyan gap with the Majin mark, ultimately failing since, again, the old Saiyan culture was inadequate, and only being a kind-hearted being like Goku, can the Saiyan race hope to grow stronger? I'll say that's all right. I don't know, because, like, that's taken away a lot of cool Vegeta moments in the Android saga. And, like, he could be pure evil at that time. He could be, because, like, there's nothing to say that he's not, really. So it could just literally be the opposite. Let's see. 4, more should have been done with Dabura and Piccolo in the Buu arc and their dynamic as, quote, demon kings. Now that's perfect. I like that. Pretty good all around, Green Turret. Thank you for those. Let's see. This Dog 812. Majin Buu Saga is a top 5 saga.
No.
Do you mean in Z? Because some people would say there are only 5 sagas. I don't know what to. It's good. I mean, it's my least favorite Z saga, but it's still good. I think because of how little sagas there, some people say there are. That's kind of looking bleak. But it's not the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever heard. But man, look, I do say there's more sagas than 5, but some people do literally say it's Saiyan, Frieza, Cell, Buu. So like saying,
Yeah,
and
that's how I
sometimes
see
they'll
it
add in
too.
another, like maybe they'll say, oh, but the androids, or maybe Namek before Frieza its own saga, or maybe the World Tournament before Boo is his own saga, or of course there's Garlic Jr. if you want to count the anime, but at the same time, like top 5 sagas. And even if you mean in all of Dragon Ball, that's still just half of it, like by at least some people's metrics. So it's it's a funny statement. And this dog 812 said that. I forgot if I mentioned that. Yeah, okay. Sigilligus or Sigilligus. I don't know how to say your name. I apologize, but I recognize you though. Nice kitty profile. Gohan's arc, if you can even call it that, in the Android/Cell saga blows. Super Saiyan 2 moment is all aura and no development. The fact that anyone considers it to be the peak of character writing in the series is an indictment of how philistine the series and fandom is.
Make it a habit. 7 minutes of Tai Chi.
Oh boy. I mean, I'll say that's all right. I have no opinion. Okay, look, I don't think that Gohan was in character when he refuses to fight Cell or tries to talk to Cell. That seems to be very out of character. But then again, we also don't know exactly what he went through in the time chamber. He could have changed as a person in there. We could say that. People never think of that. There's a whole year that we didn't really see. Although, yeah, it's certainly not the peak of character writing. I'm gonna say that your comment on the series and the fandom on how Philistine it is pretty peak. I will say that much. I like that. I'm gonna say you hit, but you down. Okay, Super Saiyan Kids save Cosmo 08. Oh, it's Super Saiyan Kids. What's up, buddy? Okay, Baby over Cell. Vegito and Gogeta are mid. Ooh, this 22nd World Tournament saga is the best in the series. Okay, I agree with that last one wholeheartedly. Is Baby better than Cell? No, I don't agree with that. No, not
Same.
at all. That's the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever heard. But Vegito and Gogeta are mid. I think fusions are kind of mid, to be real. So, like, maybe I agree with that. That could be.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Yeah, I'll go with that. But there's also a few. Yeah. So 22nd World Tournament Saga, perfect. Baby over Cell. Either it's looking bleak or it's dog shit. Vegito and Gogeta are mid. I'm gonna say that's either all right or pretty good. Okay, let's see. Thanks for the hot takes though. Okay, XX Lil Joker XX King Cole did nothing wrong. What is with you guys? What do you mean he did nothing wrong? I mean he died before he could kill everybody, but like, what does that mean? You mean ever in his life? Do you mean ever on screen when we saw him in the manga? Because he revived Frieza. That's what do you mean? Okay, look. This is just like when I made that Chi-Chi controversy video and I said that there's a difference between things that are understandable and things that are correct. King Cold saving his son is understandable. King Cold wanting revenge on those who harmed his son is understandable. But that doesn't make either right. I'm gonna mix them together. I'm gonna say you talk a lot of shit, but it's looking bleak. It's a good hot take though. I like that. Mother Lover 1984. That could mean a lot of things. Okay. Goten is great just the way he is. I love the idea of the protagonist's son not being that important. Him serving almost as a sidekick. It's just so interesting to me. I'm gonna say that's all right. It's more of an opinion on your thing, on your side, and I don't really have a strong opinion against it.
I think Goten could have been better. if he wasn't hanging out with Trunks all the time, like give him his own, give him his own like Great Saiyaman arc. That would have been nice. Because I know that they kind of did that in the last manga arc. They did that kind of where Goten was a superhero, like Great Saiyaman. But so that's something.
That could be an interesting concept. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't grab me the way it grabs you, obviously, but like, I don't hate that idea either. So I'm gonna say that's all right. Okay, Jonas Champ 9894. I recognize you. I recognize most of you. One, when people from the state say Kurin instead of Krillin, you misspelled it, but you mean Kuririn. How they do? Krillin simply sounds better, and it sounds better coming off the tongue. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I agree. I hate it when people go, "Ooh, Kuririn." It's just like, what? Why? I mean, okay, like if someone says that, then I guess I don't have a problem with it. But when someone says that, 98% of the time when someone says that, they will also give you shit for saying Krillin, and they shouldn't. Uh, okay. I need to continue with this thing because it's kind of funny. A rare occasion where the translator error is better than the original. Okay, we know you're a fan. Talking to you, geekdom, you fucking nerd. Kuririn sucks. Krillin is cool. Okay, that's your first hot take. That's perfect. I love that. Now, yes, Kuririn or Kuririn. Saying Kuririn, like using that, like saying it in that way in the Japanese fashion showcases the pun that it's off of.
I used hint to get a drawing of.
But at the same time, most people here don't speak Japanese and they don't get the pun anyway. So it's like a non-issue, really. Okay. That is perfect, though. I love the geekdom shit talk, too. That's great. Okay, 2, some fan rewrites are better than the Boo arc. I don't know many of those, so I'm going to say all right, but they might be. Although I do.
Okay, I kind of agree with that one. Because fans sometimes have better ideas than the creator. Like one of the things I enjoyed was like Geek for Fun's concept of like putting Goku in the DC universe. Like that's a good idea and is well executed. The voice acting and everything. Another thing I liked was his Norse gods and Dragon Ball idea. That was a good one as well. In terms of fan works, there are a few. I'm not remembering the names of them, but I tend to agree. There are some reworks of the Boo Saga that I've seen that do the arc better than what Akira Toriyama kind of did in some aspects.
I do like the Boo arc, though. Okay, 3, the xenomorph transformation of Frieza is really cool. Okay, yeah, I agree with that, definitely. I also liked when Krillin was imagining what Frieza's fourth form would be, and it was just an Uber version of that, which looked even creepier. I like that. Okay, 4, this channel is the only channel where I read the posts and comments consistently. I love the content.
Yes. Okay, guys, I'm back.
And the dude behind the camera seems to be a pretty good guy as well. Aw, this seems to be a pretty cool community. Also, your comment section is consistently cool despite disagreements. Okay, Jonas, thank you. Okay, that is perfect. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay, 5, that's all you fucks. All right, cool. I'm gonna like the comment. You know, you talk a lot of shit, man, but I agree. All right, I don't even know if I can begin to say this name out loud. It is Kim Yenning. KMG, no, it's KMG Yenning. I apologize for butchering your name. I don't even know why I said J for G. It's not demonstrably true that Gohan had to transform to defeat Cell, or that he had to be the one to defeat Cell at all. Demonstrably true. I understand where you're coming from, but it's looking bleak. I've explained it a few times. I mean, I can't expect everyone to have seen my videos or even agree with my videos. So I can't just say that, like, oh, you haven't seen my videos, so therefore you must agree with me. It's not that. But, like, generally, let me scoot up a bit. Generally, in Dragon Ball, multiple opponents fighting against a single opponent does not stack well by power scaling. If you have two guys with both guys with 10,000 power, with each have the power level of 10,000, and then the next person has a power level of 14,000, that they're fighting. These two are fighting that one with 14,000.
High IQ men over 50 struggle with AI the most. Here's why and how to fix it.
They are likely going to lose against that guy with 14,000. You need to be closer than that. Now, if there was two of those guys with the power level of 10,000 and they were fighting someone that had like the power level of like 11,000 or 11,500, maybe even 12,000, the two 10,000s might have a chance. It'd be very, very close, but it doesn't really stack well. So Goku not being able to fight Cell was pretty much people's last hope. Yes, Vegeta and Trunks and Piccolo and everyone else for that matter could have jumped in and fought Cell at the same time, even with Goku. But that would not have helped Goku out a lot. As weird as that sounds, it would not have. Now, yeah, sure, it does increase Goku's chances slightly, but it greatly increases the chances of the other guys that are sitting there that are jumping in of dying. And Goku would still be the one that would have the strength to do it, if not Gohan. But the text makes it clear, and the anime for that matter, that Goku did not have the strength to do that. Even with a Senzu bean, Cell
All right, I'm back.
Was still had power in reserve. So he would have beaten Goku even with a Senzu Bean, unless Goku got like a Zenkai of some kind in Super Saiyan form, or Goku did another clever maneuver like the instant transmission Kamehameha, in a way that damaged Cell even more. Maybe that, but like it would look bleak for Goku even if he got a Senzu Bean and Cell was still somewhat tired. Whereas with Gohan, he was stronger than Goku, and he impressed Cell even before he became Super Saiyan 2. Now, since Cell had his full power in reserve, I still think Cell would have beaten Super Saiyan 1 Gohan, even in Master Super Saiyan.
Okay, the multi opponents versus one enemy, like, I know it's a honor bound thing, but the fate of the world is at stake. I'm jumping Cell. Because he might have even, I agree, maybe even if they all ganged up on him, Cell would probably still beat him. Since he wasn't at full power, quote unquote, until Gohan went Super Saiyan 2. So even if they probably all ganged up on him, he'd probably still beat him.
So I think Gohan also had to transform. So like, I don't want to be mean, but this seems like this is just from what we know from the text, wholly incorrect.
3 signs you are carrying energy from past life.
But I will also say that while it is demonstrably true, that doesn't mean it's advertised as being hugely true. I will say you need to really look at it to know that. The only reason I know that is because I've talked about this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again 80 billion times with 80 billion different people, and read it that many times as well, and have made charts about this kind of thing. So, but like, yeah, Toriyama does not do a good job of showcasing the reasoning, but there is reasoning, and it's not just for plot or drama. It's because really everyone jumping Cell at the same time would not have really increased their chances by more than like 2%, and it would have increased the chances of Vegeta and Piccolo and Trunks and the humans and others dying by a large margin. So yeah, but thanks for the hot take though. All right, Codeman DBZ, that's a good name, even though you got a sort of a creepy eye for your profile picture. Trunks should have died at Gohan's feet while Gohan was giving it his all. That should have been what made him rage out. But before that, the relationship should have developed in an episode for it to have impact plus bits of dialogue throughout the arc, cementing their newfound friendship. It would make sense because Trunks already had a bond with Gohan in the future, so he would emotionally attach himself to present Gohan. Gohan becoming a pacifist out of nowhere to justify him getting angry at 16's death was bad writing. Gohan barely knows him. Gohan has always rushed in to help his friends in need and confidently fought his enemies. In fact, that was his development from his toddler years. I agree with all of that. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that one. Those are some fine points there. A very good hot take.
I think all of that is correct. Trunks had a huge relationship with future Gohan. He should have tried to pursue one with Kid Gohan. I bet he would have, if he was written consistently and not just with plot in mind, he would have definitely tried to befriend Gohan more, and Gohan would have enjoyed that too. And of course, yeah, I think Gohan becoming a pacifist was weird, and I also think that it was strange that it was 16, even though I don't think him getting angry at 16's death is bad writing, though, because 16 explains things to him, and then Cell just callously kills him in front of him. And this is during a bunch of other stressful things. So I don't really blame him for that. But everything else I do agree with. Okay, let's see. Inferno Cleric 384. I like that. That kind of reminds me of old school D&D. Funimation's old dubs are nothing more than parodies and should be treated as such. The actors and actresses have improved, and some were okay back then. Justin Cook and Damian Clark come to mind, but the dialogue is incredibly inaccurate. You can like it, but I would hesitate to even call it Dragon Ball. Even DBZA was more Dragon Ball, in my opinion. Also, in terms of dub quality, Speedy is under Really Old Funny, which is the same or under Big Green, which is under Blue Water, which is the same or under Westwood Ocean, which is under Solar, which is under mid 2000s Funny, which is way under Kai / Super Era Funny, current sub, under current dub. I apologize, but I'm going to have to post the clip for this one.
That is one big pile of shit.
Son, you talk a lot of shit.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire life. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, but like, what are you talking about? What do you mean that Dragon Ball Z Abridged is more accurate than that? That's ridiculous.
Wrong. I know the Abridged parodies a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are probably watching that over the original source material, but incorrect.
And you're saying that Ocean dub is more accurate than that, dude? Or the Blue or the Big Green? What are you talking about? This is the kind of, okay, this is the sort of, okay, I'm not going to assume this about you, Inferno, but this is what I hear from not many people, but like the people that I see on Twitter that are a part of this sort of it's a mind virus. It's this sort of infectious thing that like grips onto someone's mind and eats it alive, that there's this hate boner for old funny, that they cannot acknowledge that there is anything worse than that. I see it sometimes, and it's made not because of any logic, but it's made because people they like the sub, and then they hear dub fans shitting on it, and then they have to do this game of saying, well, the dub sucks even more. And it's like, how can you even say that Super's voice acting is so horrible in the funny dub? At least, like, Goku sounds like he did when he was 15. Piccolo doesn't sound like Piccolo. He just sounds like a different Vegeta. Yamcha doesn't sound like Yamcha. He just sounds like, well, different Vegeta. Vegeta doesn't even sound like Vegeta anymore. He sounds like Chris Sabat. Like there's no... The only people that voice anything well in Super is the new actors that haven't been in a lot of other Dragon Ball stuff, like Matthew Mercer. And now Ocean dub, I think, acts well, but at the same time, like, it is not more accurate than old funny. Or like, how could you even say that Big Green? Yeah, I'm sorry, this is the biggest pile of dog shit. I apologize. I cannot. This is something that I'm holding myself back on not really going hard against this statement. How can you even say?
The more you stay home, the less you want to leave. And the more you stay, the heavier everything feels. You think you're resting.
And how can you put Ocean right below the old sub with current funny? But accuracy is what you care about. And I mean, yeah, okay, you did say quality in this, so I get it. But it's like, how can you say that Big Green is the same or better than old Have you ever fucking heard Big Green? What about the Portuguese dub?
No. The only ones I'm familiar with is the Funimation dub and the original sub, and probably the ocean dub.
You heard that? We're this is okay. Look, really old funny, like the very beginning was not good, but to say that Big Green is over it, I can't fathom. Now, I do think that mid 2000s funny is probably peak funny because that was when they were getting better as actors, but they also still had the vocal cords and the passion for what they were doing to make sure they did it well. Kai had better lines, and some of it was acted better, but other parts.
Yeah, Kai. I would say Kai would be a top up better than the original dub. Given one, they want to be more accurate to the manga than how they did it back then, so it was that part was good. And the Bruce Falconer score, that's my jam.
Parts were not. It was they acted like they were in drama school. It didn't really sound like when Goku was mad. It didn't sound like it was mad Goku. It sounded like he was a kid hiding in his room. Like, and super funny dub is almost as bad as really old funny dub. I don't get how you can say that super funny dub is great. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get how anyone can think that the super dub is good beyond a few outliers. Yeah. Anyway, Gogeta has some of, if not the most pervasive wank out of any character in the franchise. Take a shot every time someone says Gogeta over Gogito because he gets things done, or Gogeta can purify people with his soul punisher. I haven't heard that, but I'm gonna say that's all right. That could be true. You could be correct on that. Okay, let's see. I know that Frieza probably shouldn't ever come back, but I do still find DBS Frieza interesting. That's valid as well, I'll say. These are all good hot takes, by the way. I'm sorry that I went hard at you on the first one, but like,
for me, I
I completely disagree. But that's a good hot take.
I wish they kept Frieza dead because out of all the villains, he's the one that's been coming back the longest. Every single time, I guess because of popularity, but there's other villains too that you could develop. Instead of bringing Frieza back every time, it gets boring after a while. Like, oh, Frieza's back. Carry on.
Take. I will say that. Cell is overrated, but still somewhat unique. I agree with that as well. Man, I agree with almost everything that you're saying other than the first thing. People who say that we should stop caring about power scaling are encouraging BS writing. Yeah, I agree with that. Also, statements like Goku isn't faster than light because that's not how the author saw it don't really make sense, in my opinion. It's not the fans' fault for thinking this, but the writer's fault for not thinking about the repercussions of their writing. This is in the same territory as it's for kids. It doesn't have to be deep. Yeah, I agree with that too. That's pretty perfect.
And I gotta tell
1 second, guys. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Yeah, it's really up to, I mean, like, what the author says goes, but if the text disagrees with the author, then I mean, it's their fault. They wrote it. Okay, it doesn't matter what you think about Boo Saga. Oh, I mean, you have a lot of. I can't do all of yours, dude. I'm sorry. There's so many of these hot takes, and I have to get to other people. I'll read one more. It doesn't matter what you think about Boo Saga, Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Gohan, or Base Evil / Super Boo versus Kid Boo. Gohan Boo is the strongest manga incarnation of Boo, not counting Daikaushin Boo in DBS. On the topic of Gohan Boo, Super Boo, after absorbing Piccolo and Gotenks, is the worst villain in the original manga. He has the problem people bring up about Moro with him looking more human. He lost almost all his personality in exchange for becoming Diet Cell Broly, and all he has to show for it is being beat up by Vegito. He's not there long enough for me to think that he's the worst. I don't know. That might be bleak. I can't tell. Maybe not. I don't know. I might go back to your stuff in the next video, dude, Inferno. But that is all I'll read for this one because I can't read like 10. That's unfair to other people. Okay. Trenton Bates 3114 says, how the androids get so much stronger than Piccolo? Come the TOP. Dude, Super just makes shit up. I don't know. That's also.
Yep, I agree with that one. Super. That was ridiculous. The tournament power, like, there's a power scaling is all over the place. Like, why is Roshi he did some secret training, and now he's suddenly stronger than Tien, who's, as far as we knew, never stopped training after Boo. And then he had Android 17, like, oh, I'm just magically this strong. Like, what is this? Bullshit.
Also a question. This isn't a hot take. This is a question. Would adult Gohan versus Majin Vegeta make for a better fight? I'm sorry, Trenton. I cannot answer this because we're on hot takes at the moment. Those are questions. Apologies. Okay, Digimon Tamer B. Oh, nice name. Half the issues people have with Dragon Ball Super were creeping into Dragon Ball's original run as early as the Piccolo arc and were just as bad or worse in GT. Ooh. Looking kind of bleak with that one. I agree that it was cropping up in the original run, but not in the Piccolo arc, and I don't think it was worse than GT. Okay, Metal Lover Overlord. Man, your name is spelled to where it's kind of a freaky. Metal Loverlord. Metal Cooler could comfortably defeat Perfect Cell, whether it's the first Metal Cooler or the millionth, he's gonna win. Dude, if Metal Cooler fought Perfect Cell would just destroy the Big Getty Star. I don't understand.
True. Like, Metal Cooler.
What are you talking about? I mean, like,
Metal Cooler has no chance.
I think Metal Cooler was probably about as strong as Androids 18 or 17. But, like...
What happens if my dad starts Tai Chi tomorrow?
Freaking AI.
How old is your father?
There we go.
Eventually, Cell is just going to destroy that. He's not going to get tired. If he does not get tired out enough against friggin' Ascended Super Saiyan Vegeta and Trunks and then Master Super Saiyan Goku, he could just... No, I don't. I mean, if he doesn't know where the Big Eddie Star is and Cooler keeps going after him for like a million times, I mean, I guess, but that's kind of like saying that there's like a million rats coming after me one at a time. I'm just gonna stomp them. I don't know. All right. Ferdiger. Excellent name. I miss Goku Xeno. That's the biggest pile of dog shit. I'm kidding. I guess that's valid. I don't know. Okay, Gaming Guru 26K. The Majin Buu saga in the anime had the best filler. I guess I'll say that's all right. I don't agree necessarily, but it didn't have bad filler either. Willow posting. Patron here. Hello, Willow. Also, I completely messed up because I was going to do all the patron stuff first, but it's been 2 weeks since I made this hot takes thing and I forgot. But everyone, please congratulate Willow for being a patron because they're amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, Willow. Okay, patron here. Well, I love talking about Dragon Ball lore and canon and whatnot. I have been a large canon head for the other franchises like Star Wars for as long as I can remember. Cool, me too. I feel like people worry about canon way too much. Okay, let's see. Things like power scaling and canon feats have taken a lot of fun out of these franchises for me. Oh, well, Goku beat Broly, but that's not canon. Like, I get it, and canon is very important, but given how the majority of Dragon Ball fans don't even read anyway, it really bugs me. Also, Garlic Jr. isn't that bad, fuckers. I'll say that's all right. I'll say that's all right. I mean, like, canon, I think, is extremely important, but some people do take it beyond what they should and act like that it can't if it's not canon.
Yeah, true. Like at this point, you could say anything is canon at this point. Like for me, you got the original manga, you got the anime, and that's it. But if you feel like it, if you think you can fit in the movies or the filler into stories, then that's a good too, I guess. But for me, canon is just a word at this point. Like I don't really care like what's canon at this point. Like anything is canon to a fan.
Canon, then it can't be good. Like that's silly.
Like even some of the filler stuff in the anime, like okay, this is like the Otherworld tournament, like that could fit well into canon. You could put that right at the start of Buu Saga as an arc.
Garlic Jr. isn't that bad. Yeah, I agree with that too. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay. Next up is please Gaza. All right. Goku's best fit was his end of Z Gi. You know what? I don't agree. I think, but
oh, true. That true. There his end of Z outfit with the blue key is nice. His yard jacket one is good as well. But is his end of the OG Dragon Ball when he was good? The outfit that he wore during the 23rd tournament with the umbrella and that outfit, like that would have been a good. I never seen that alternate costume as a fit for Goku. That's one of my favorite fits too.
That is a good. That's I guess a solid hot take. Also, Willow, the Garlic Jr. isn't that bad. That's a solid hot take too. Okay. All right. I'm the strongest asks or says, don't use the English dub as your source. It's mostly wrong. Okay, that's incorrect already. What? That's the biggest pile of dog shit. Like, what do you mean mostly wrong? If it's mostly wrong, then it would be worse than the worst one that we've had ever. Nothing is even the ocean dub is not mostly wrong. The English dub for funny is mostly right. However, there is enough to where people can point at to be like, oh, this might not be the most accurate dub. But to say it's mostly wrong is just no. What does that mean? Like that's like saying for a dub to be mostly wrong, or Vegeta and Nappa would have to land and say they're there to buy pizza. Like that would be the level of it being mostly wrong. Like, that's what I mean. People who shit on the dub just they say these things that is mostly like they have to stop being so hyperbolic. Okay. Super Saiyan 4 is the power that was spoken of in the Legend of the Legendary Super Saiyan, the power that was so powerful that it had no equal. That's an all right opinion. Original Super Saiyan had a tail. Original Super Saiyan would have unlocked Super Saiyan 4. I mean, it wouldn't have, but if you think it should have, I would say that's an alright opinion. If Goku were to unlock Super Saiyan 4 during the Namek Man, if he was to unlock it in the Namek Saga, it would have held the legend true, but Goku had no tail, so no Super Saiyan 4. Even Frieza stated that the power of the legend was an exaggeration because blonde hair Goku wasn't all that powerful like the legend said he was supposed to be. I don't remember Frieza stating that. At least because of blonde hair Goku wasn't all that powerful like the legend said he was supposed to be. Goku would not be able to have a tail then anyway. Unless he literally just kept his tail from birth and he just protected it with his life, and even beyond his life. And even then, that's not how what Toriyama says. Toriyama says it would get in the way eventually. Okay, if Vegeta were to unlock Super Saiyan 4 during the saga, he would have stated something like, "Is this the true power of the legendary Super Saiyan?" But he had no tail. Damn, you keep going with this. We all know that they unlocked Super Saiyan 4 right after they obtained Super Saiyan 1. We don't all know that. That they were supposed to be. How can you say that the English dub is mostly wrong and then say these things? Look, these are great. These are opinion is looking bleak. Thank you for posing that though.
Those takes aren't really well done.
Look, I will throw you a bone here. Super Saiyan 4 is a really back to the savagery of the Saiyans, and it does bring Tails back. And it is really made Super Saiyan 4 a thing in the original run. I would have called
1 second, guys. I'll be back in a second. Yes, I'm up. Yes, yes.